What is it, Argo? What do you see? Oh! Well, would you look at that? One of those things is not like the others. That is for sure. Good morning. Here from the rainy Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Although it's not raining right now. But it was raining earlier. So the saga here, the lock backlog continues in just a moment. Okay, I had to get my glove back on. It's 36 degrees with a bit of a breeze out of the west here, and you can see that flag. So that has been causing all sorts of grief. So last night, probably the video before this was the American Century, and I was there out last night recording them, and they actually had to stop. They backed them up out of the lock, and they had to tie up right in front of the lock like the Edgar B Speer is here. And then they had to dump the lock and flush the ice out because there was too much ice for the footer to fit. And I'm assuming, I never thought about this before last night, I'm assuming that they lower the lock, they open the lower gates, then they just open the valves to let the water in. I heard them on the radio. The lockmaster says, when we start flushing, you'll feel it. I'm assuming they're talking about the water draw past them into the lock chamber. So, and I am looking here at this scene, and it looks like they're doing the exact same thing here for the Edgar B Speer. So, whoa. And the backlog of ships is just, I mean, the American Century, when they started going into the lock, well, shoot, I was done, taking my pictures and all that by 9:20 last night, and they're just now below the rock cut. So they were really hung up for a while, like quite a while. So here, let me see if I can, well, let me get past this tree here. I see a good deal of water moving here. I kind of wonder if the Speer isn't using their thruster to try to push ice away as they're flushing it. But the wind out of the west is pushing the ice here. So there's just more and more ice coming. And when they open the lock doors to let the footers in, just a bunch of ice comes in the lock. And there's just not enough room. There's not a ton of extra space when a footer is in there. Maybe you can see that. I hear a sound. I think it is their thruster. I think they're just trying to push. You see some ice is getting by, but I'm betting they're flushing the lock right now, and they're just trying to use their thruster to push it to the side as much as they can. Wow. And I looked at marine traffic and I saw the backup, and it is quite the backup of ships still. And the Maclock is in use, but there aren't a ton of these that can use it. Herbert C. Jackson is out there waiting. I think they'll be next in line after the Speer goes through, but yeah. Yuck. It just won't stop, The ice just won't go away. I mean, it's melting, but just not obviously as fast as anyone would like. That's interesting. I've never seen this. So who knows how long they'll be here. You know, when they dump the lock, so I put my glove back on, raise it, or dump it, flush it, raise it. I bet that's probably an hour process. Right around there. And then they still have to get in, lower, and then leave the lock. And so that's, you know, probably another 40 minutes on top of that. So when I do see a ship, I'll see if I can peek up over the fence here. I miss having that pile of snow here I could just stand on, you know. Remember, I was resting my elbow on top of the fence. Now I have to reach over my head. See if I can zoom in. So you can see a ship down there. I don't know who it is, but yeah, just a lot of waiting. I'm betting people are wishing the other lock was ready. That would really, you know, that's one of the reasons why they're building it. The other one is if something happens to the pole lock, they're down. But in situations like this, you know, they could run them both. Now, and the old Carl's Cuisine here, where the 9 and 10 news camera is still without power. So the camera's still down, still pointing the direction it was, and the power was shut off. And just real, I guess, in case that someone doesn't know, they shut off all the utilities because they had one of the water lines break for the fire suppression system, which was flooding the place. So they shut off all the utilities so they could fix that. So now look at this here at the Mac lock. That is some froth. Right there. Look at that. That is some. I don't think I've ever seen it like that. I mean, they run bubblers all winter, so you don't get ice up against the lock gate. But I've never seen it froth like that. I'm guessing, you know, they wanted to keep the gates clear of ice, you know, so they could actually use them, operate the gates. But that is a new sight for me. See it right there by that orange pole. Well, all kinds of firsts, you know. I've been here just a smidge over 3 years. Still learning, still seeing new stuff. Yeah. Yep. They're gonna be, well, hopefully they're getting some breakfast. I'd imagine they just put the ladder down so the line handlers could just come back aboard instead of standing out here in the cold. Get some coffee, some breakfast. These crews are well fed, which is great. All right, well, here we are, 10 minutes all of a sudden. Wow. So that's going to do it here. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I'm not going to hang out here for them, unfortunately. Plus, oh, look at this good boy. He's such a good boy, Argo. Really is. Like, he's such a good boy. So kind-hearted. You know. Loyal. What a good dog. Well, there we go. We're going to go do this walk. I never did mention today is Saturday, the 19th of April, 2025. And well, you can see a lot of that snow is gone. So I think we're finally trending towards spring. But, all right, dog, you ready for some breakfast? like he's ready to do his business, then have some breakfast. So we will be back. It is a target-rich environment, so I imagine I'll have a few more videos from the weekend here to share with you. So till then, we'll see you later.